Hey guys, welcome to the Woklz channel, and I'm going to be talking about the Arsenal game that's just happened against Liverpool, where Liverpool have won 2-0 at the Emirates, knocking Arsenal out of the Emirates FA Cup. Now, this is now another game Arsenal haven't won. They've only won one game in the last 6, and overall, I think there's been a lot of poor things around with the team, and obviously, it's not performing very well, but I think this is one of the better performances I've seen by Arsenal. So from a goals perspective, I mean, there's not really much we can do. The first goal was a free kick. We gave away poorly on that left side. We kept giving away free kicks poorly on the left and right side. Obviously, Kivior just ended up losing the marker, losing the ball, heading it into his own net. It's a shame. It always had to be Kivior. It felt like I don't even feel like he had that bad of a game today, but we didn't make him invert, so he basically had a lot easier role and basically got the easiest things to do. In the end, they scored a goal on the counter attack in the last minute. Martinelli missed the ball poorly, but it doesn't really matter. We shouldn't have got to that point in the first place. Now, I want to go over a few things that actually happened in this game. Now, I actually think Arsenal played really well, and I thought the system actually worked very well in the first half. As you can see, we used a Nelson in that left side and Havertz in that centre forward, but they did actually like transition a lot, so Havertz went onto that left and Nelson would run through the middle. We often used, obviously, Havertz mostly for the middle to win them duels and get the ball up the pitch, but when Arsenal went to sustained possession like this, where Ramsdale had the ball in the back, we would rely on Ramsdale's long passes to get over the in behind for Nelson. We used Nelson's pace, as you can see here, to get in behind, and this nearly led to a goal. We also started to do our system with a corners. This is how Arsenal set up from corners. We like flooding the back post, and you see it actually worked today because we had a lot of height. We didn't have that Eddie or Jesus in there, and usually Jesus is free back post. We actually let Havertz get a bit more involved and run inwards, as he is tall enough and can win them duels. The whole system is that we do the corner to the early to the front post, so we get a head on from one of the centre backs. This is Gabriel, and Gabriel usually heads it on, so it goes backwards into Havertz. As you can see, Havertz didn't necessarily take the chance. It was a bit to the left of him, a bit to the right of him, so he couldn't get the right connection, but it's really what we want to do from them corners and really should be doing better. Also, Arsenal's pressing was very interesting. Liverpool like doing this weird midfield thing where they don't really have any defensive midfielders without Endo, and we usually marked them. We kind of left Konate free, I think this is, to just not really do anything and sort of press them down this left side in the first half. As you can see, everyone's on their man, got closer to him, where you can see the players are really far out, so it's hard for them to get the ball out, and this is not Trent. You don't want to do this with Trent in this corner and Konate because they are better passers, so it would have been struggled to get them, and they probably would have got the ball out even though, because Trent is so good at long range passing. But when it comes to Gomez and Kwanzaa, it's a bit of a different ball game, and if you can keep your pressure on, you know that you can get the ball. So Saka wins the ball here. Unfortunately, we don't take this chance. Havertz sees Nelson, which is not necessarily the wrong thing to do because you can see he looks over and sees him, but he should give it to Saka here, I think. But he obviously doesn't hear him or see the call. He hits the ball and it comes off the bar, which is a bit unlucky. You know, we should have scored though. I think that's a good point to touch on Kai Havertz. I think Kai Havertz was brilliant in this game. He did what we wanted, and the reason why we created so many chances is because he was a big presence in the box, and he also was brilliant at hold-up play and got other people into the game. Odegaard, Saka, and even our left winger Nelson, then Martin really came on. I think I've never seen Martin touch the ball so much. He actually got the ball a lot more, and I think Havertz in that centre forward role is probably better. Obviously, there is issues around his shooting. I obviously think he should have scored a lot of goals today. Some people have been quoting, like Alan Shearer, saying we should have scored 4 or 5. Don't think that's necessarily the case. We definitely should have scored 1 or 2, but in the end, we didn't. We didn't take our chances, which is not great at all. Obviously, people say we need that killer striker, and I think someone like Tony could be a good idea there because he might help, but we'd lose them duels from Havertz, and when Havertz is in that left centre mid, we don't have that progression going up the field. Another decent thing about this game is that Arsenal did change the system a lot, and Arsenal actually played a double pivot when they didn't have the ball with Jorginho and Rice to sort of have that protection of the defence, and it did work for mostly the first half and a lot in the second half. They couldn't physically get through that defence, and they didn't make Kivior invert, so inverting wasn't an issue, so he didn't have to come in and do things that he can't do. This became an issue in the second half though, because what they did is they actually moved Nunez out onto that left side to get a bit more pace out there, Diaz onto the right and Gakpo up front, and then Gakpo came off a yacht and showed a lot more pace there. Gakpo out on the wing isn't really a threat. He's not very fast. He's more of a physical big guy, which doesn't really affect us. But when we were getting that pace in behind, Ben White and Kivior are really struggling to defend them players. Ben White is very good, I think, when a defender goes on the outside of him, but when a defender goes on the inside, I think he kind of struggles. So I think that was a bit of an issue there. Sometimes there was issues in the press. As you can see, Nelson we used in a very interesting way. He came quite deep to try and get the ball a lot of times, and sometimes he didn't necessarily have the idea of where to go and where to do. He doesn't have that connection, doesn't play with these players every week. That makes sense. And you see Liverpool here flooded the midfield, so if you make any mistakes to get the ball, this didn't really amount to anything though, and it was usually okay. I also think we were quite intelligent from not only the corners that we had, or we tried to do if they were taken well, was the free kick. So this was a good free kick move where yet again we should have taken it. Good run by Havertz. He was onside, did the ball in, and I don't think we did it very well. Now, the goal is poor marking. We should be doing better marking there, and Kvyat should really be trying to hold his line and trying to make sure he heads the ball away, gets in front of the defender. I know he kind of has to head it because of that situation, but, you know, it's something that you got to really take on the head and probably should have done better. Also, for the second goal, whatever, it only really happens because all that first thing happens. And the fact we didn't take our chances. Arsenal had so many chances this game, as much as I don't think it was loads and loads. We did have a lot, and we definitely should have scored. We have an XG around 2, which is not good enough. At least we did create today. Fulham, we really struggled to even build up and create. I do think it does show that we maybe need a striker. If we get someone like Ivan Toney in, I do think he could help with the duels, but where are we going to get that sort of solidified from Havertz? Havertz isn't going to be there anymore. If we take Havertz out of the team, put him back to left centre mid, I think we can have a lot of issues with then creating again. So I don't know if the team's sustainable enough to actually proceed with this sort of system. So I don't know, it'd be very interesting to see. I also don't think it's necessarily viable we even get a striker because it's so hard to market right now. I did a video about that if you want to go check it out. Overall, I'm very disappointed with the result, but I am a bit more happy with the performance. And I know it's the FA Cup and we have a good history in this cup, but to be honest, I genuinely just think we need to focus on the league and the Champions League. So I'm not too upset that we're out of another cup. I know it's a bit annoying because we should be going further, but look, we got Liverpool in the third round this year, we got Man City in the third round last year. Like, it's whatever. If we played any other team, we probably would have been fine. So, you know, you got to take it on the head and move on. Arsenal need a better result though. We need to get a result and stop this downward spiral and stop the media going on about us, because we're still a very, very good team. I'll give us another next game. We've got to do a lot better, and hopefully that we keep Havertz up front. I still want to have him there and try him there. And I was very impressed by Nelson. I think there might be a spot for Nelson in this team, but if we get good money for him, then you still got to think he's probably worth selling. But I would rather sell Emile Smith-Rowe than Nelson at the moment. But let me know what you guys think. I want to know what Arsenal fans think and Liverpool fans think. Honest Liverpool fans, I don't want to, you know, you can take the piss out of us, but just keep it friendly, because I know a lot of my audience is both of them fan groups. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this game. And Arsenal will be playing Liverpool in a couple of weeks again at the Emirates, so I'm sure we'll see more tactical changes by then. Thank you for watching.